Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Here's another gear review while under quarantine. This is just gonna be more of a quick little comparison between two wide-angle lenses. I've got the Tokina Cinema ATX, the Tokina Cinema 11-20mm. Their wide-angle zoom, which is now like a cinemated version that became available last fall. It's a T2.9. And I've also got the Rokinon SP 10mm, which is the widest spherical lens you can buy. Most lenses at that point start becoming a fisheye. It's a f3.5, so it's a little darker, a little slower, a little, you know what I mean. Both interesting lenses in their own right. So obviously the Rokinon SP is going to be a little bit wider at 10mm. The Tokina 11-20 on my Helium at 8K HD, or about as wide as you're going to go on the sensor. It vignettes at 11, basically 11 to 14. You're going to get some vignetting, so it's really only usable on the full sensor from like 14 to 20. And then it has some markings, I think at 16, of when it becomes safe for a full frame sensor. And so in general, I don't like to have lenses that the zoom range doesn't cover the entire sensor at full frame on any of my cameras. I just don't like to have to remember that I can't zoom all the way out or whatever because of where I am, or to have to crop in on resolution or something. I like it to be quick and snappy and like, all right, this zooms from here to here and I can use it. So that's one thing I have to always remember with that lens when I'm using it. I do tend to use it more on my gimbal. For wide shots, it's the perfect kind of gimbal lens. Having that little bit of zoom range does help when you've got the camera set on a gimbal, or you're in a sticky environment and you just need you may be a little bit closer or something. It gets you that little bit of extra. Obviously it's got the cinema build quality, it's got the gear rings and everything. Which is a big differentiator between the Rokinon. The Rokinon's electronic aperture. It just has the focus ring, but it's really cool. I mean, I've never had a lens that wide that's sort of still usable. I most recently notably used it for some astrophotography in Big Bend. I don't think I've actually used it yet for a film project, but I'll shoot some tests here and let you just kind of see the difference. Again, it's not apples to comparison. They're two different wide angle lenses, and you can just make your own judgment on how they look and feel. The 10mm is really going to come in handy for architectural stuff, or if I'm in a really tight room and I need a wide shot. We do some house flipping videos. It'll be really handy there, where the 11-20 I can't really quite go down to 11, 12, 13, 14mm. So it's really a 15-20 for me, and the 10mm will help give me that extra little bump. But here's some comparison shots between the two. It's just because I have them both, I figured I'd put them up against each other, let you decide what you like. Obviously, in most cases, the 10mm is not going to be a lens you use very often. The 11-20 a little more usable in more scenarios. I do like with all the Tokinas. I mean, Tokina image quality is really good. I still use the older generation of the Cinema ATX lenses, and when I'm cutting around between all my footage, even with the Rokinon SPs, I can always tell when it's the Tokina shots, because it's just a little sharper, a little more contrasty. They just feel a little more professional, and they just have a different feel to them. The SP lenses, generally speaking, feel a little fuzzier to me. They're sharp, but there's it's hard to describe quality to it, where they are a little greener like all the Rokinons tend to be, but they don't feel as like they're resolving the image as cleanly, I guess. They have a little more personality to them. Again, not necessarily a good or bad thing, just some differences I've noticed over the years. So with the Tokina wide angle zoom, I know I'm always getting a really nice image quality. So that's kind of my go-to gimbal lens, and 10mm more for for kind of extreme angles, architecture, small rooms, that stuff like that. That's something you can use a lot just for tight spaces and weird angles. You'll definitely get some distortion, but it's remarkably low distortion considering it's a 10mm lens. I'm shooting both of these on the RED Helium, so that's a crop sensor, it's not full frame. The SP 10mm is a full frame lens, so it'll work on a full frame sensor. That's the difference. So both of these comparisons are technically cropped in on my sensor, so it'll be a little different. The 11-20 will be even less usable on a full frame camera than it is on the Helium. So anyway, hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, leave me comments, I'll try to respond, and see you next time.